Hey, second graders, today's mini lesson is going to be a little bit different. We are going to start talking about genre, types of books. So our I am learning statement is, I am learning that fiction books are imagined by the author. So let's start by looking at those blue words, fiction books. What do you guys think it means if a book is fiction? If you said that it means that a book is not real, you've got it. Let's look at the red word which says imagined. What do you guys think it means to imagine something? If you said it means to think up something in your mind, to come up with something crazy and fantastical, you're right. That's what it means to imagine something. So we're learning that fiction books are imagined by the author of that book. So let's take a look next at the definition of genre. So genre is a category in which a work of literature is classified. So a work of literature could be a book, a collection of poems, a magazine. So the genre is simply where you would put it if you were categorizing it, if you were placing it into different groups. So here, down here you could see some different book genres. Not all, but some. There's myth, romance, novel, fiction, biography, fairy tale, drama, history, western, poetry, and nonfiction. So those are some examples of categories that we can put books into. So now we're going to talk about some fiction books that we have read or may read soon. So let's first take a look at Horace and Morris and Mostly Dolores. That's this book right here with the bright yellow on the cover. So at the top it says the author tells made-up stories in fiction books. So we know that fiction means it's not true, it's made up. So we're going to be asking the question, how do you know the author made up the story? So we need to prove some evidence here that the story is made up. So here are some points written in blue that prove that the author made up this story of Horace and Morris and Mostly Dolores. So mice talk. Do mice talk in real life? No, that's right, they don't. Mice write signs. Do they do that in real life? No. And they build a clubhouse, which we know is not something that mice do in real life. So, Horace and Morris and Mostly Dolores is a fiction story. Let's take a look at another one of my favorites, The Old Woman Who Named Things. So here in red, we have the reasons why we can tell that this was a made-up story. So, the woman isn't real even though she seems real. So characters can be realistic, they can seem real, but that doesn't mean they are real. The old woman told the puppy that the chair never allowed dogs to sit on him. Can chairs make decisions or allow people or animals to do things? If you said no, you're right. Chairs can't make those decisions because chairs are not living. So those are two really big reasons how we can tell that The Old Woman Who Named Things is a fiction story. So the next one we're going to talk about is A Weekend with Wendell. I know that this is the story that you guys have probably read or will be reading soon. If you have read this book, I want you to pause this video for a moment and talk about what you think makes this story fiction. How can you prove that this story is not real? So if you have read this book, go ahead and pause now and think about the reasons why A Weekend with Wendell is not real. It is fiction. Okay, so hopefully you guys were able to talk about that a little bit. Let's go over some of the reasons that we have on this chart right here, which are written in purple. These are the pieces of evidence that prove that this book is a fiction story. So mice talk. We know that mice don't talk in real life. They have sleepovers. I don't think that that really happens in real life. They own sleeping bags and suitcases. Do mice own sleeping bags and suitcases in real life? No, they don't. And they wear clothes, which we know is generally not something that happens with the mice that are running around New Hampshire that we see every day. So we're learning that fiction books are made-up stories that the author writes. They can have realistic elements, but the things that happen in them are not real. We're also learning that genre is the category that you can put a book or a work of literature in. So today we talked about the fiction category. All right, my friends, I hope that you learned a little bit about genre and fiction books, and I will see you guys back soon for more conversations. Happy reading!